What's up with this, Coleman? Just because we bought a small camper doesn't mean we don't have the same size sewer pipe. Today I'm going to fix that issue. Let's roll the video. Alright, today folks, what we're going to be doing is adding more pipe for your sewer pipe. My wife and I just bought this Coleman camper. This is our first travel trailer. We had the pop-up camper before, so this was never an issue. We never had to worry about sewer pipe and all that stuff. But we bought what was the smaller of the pipe, the 15-footer. Won't even fit in the stock tube. I'm not carrying this thing inside, you know. It's going to be carrying feces and whatever lovely stuff your body gets rid of. So today what I'm going to be doing, the stock one is a Valterra, and the one I purchased off Amazon today is also a Valterra, but it's an expanding one. What I'm going to do is add that to this one. And the reason why I'm not removing the factory one is because even the Valterra, the expanding one, does not expand wide enough to reach the frame on both sides of the camper. Now, if I had a welder, yes, I could weld a steel plate or move the steel plate that's welded on the frame here over. But since I'm not a welder and I don't have welding equipment, and basically I don't want to mess with anything, I'm just going to add on to it with the expanding one. All right, folks, basically I'm going to try and show you this from underneath the best that I can. Like I said, I don't want to make this a long video. First thing we're going to do is we got to remove the cap that's on the other side, and it unscrews the same as the opening side, which I also noticed they have extra tap screws, which I'm not gonna, I'll probably use these. The Valterra set came with these, but we're going to remove this cap altogether because we're no longer going to need the cap on this end. But you may want to hang on to it because somewhere down the line you might lose one. And then again, folks, we're going to do the exact same thing on this. This is the exact same pipe that's on here, but it's an expandable version from Valterra. So we're not going to need the cap again in the center. So again, we're going to save all these parts because someday we might need them. But in the meantime, I'm just yanking these off here. There's probably a better way to do it, but I'm not doing it that way. With this being expandable, now all I got to do is I'll have to drill a couple holes and just line the pipe up with each other. Honestly, you could probably put something in there too to kind of tie them together. We're not worried about it being waterproof, folks. It's just where your sewer pipe goes. So, but we're going to get everything lined up, and then what we'll do is we'll drill holes on both ends. And this is going to be way long. Like, we could put a 20-footer in here now and have plenty of room. Like I said, folks, this one is expandable, but it's not quite expandable enough to reach both sides of the frame, unfortunately. And like I said, I don't plan on tack welding or doing anything to this camper, at least for the moment. Like I said, we just want to have this lined up with here as tight as we can get it. We could hook stuff together on here if we want to, just to hold it together or whatever. All right, again, stuff like this would be easier if there's two of you to do it, but if you watch any of my videos before, it's always just me. So what I'm going to do, even though these are self-tapping screws that come with it, I'm still going to want to pre-drill it just to make my life a little easier. I will take a marker and mark roughly where the holes need to be on here. And like I said, you could probably put a clamp or something in here in between to kind of hold it into place. And then we get this end lined up, then we can expand the other end and get that one figured out. But these are 10mm screws, self-tapping screws that come with it, but I'm making it easier by pre-drilling it just a little bit with a smaller drill bit. All right, folks, I got both of my holes pre-drilled. Just make sure you wear eye protection when you're doing drilling and stuff like this. Don't be a dumbass and get metal shrapnel in there, or you're gonna have a bad time. Like I said, both the holes are pre-drilled. I did notice when I was laying underneath this, they did not line this up very straight. Whatever, man, you're buying the cheapest camper. You'd think they'd be still have a little quality control and have the shit lined up properly, but whatever. Let's say they put a small pipe thing here, so and it's not big enough for a standard small pipe. All right, now I got to try and get these lined up. This would be a job that two people could do a lot easier because one person could hold the other end while you're doing it. All right, what made it easier for me being by myself, I just threw a bench underneath there to kind of hold it up. I'm actually running a couple bolts through either side. Everything's still loose. These are still loose, so once I get the other side secured and lined up, this will all tighten up, and then I'll just finish off by tightening these self-tapping screws, and I'll tighten these down. All right, folks, again, we're just gonna get this side lined up the best we can and make sure it's, make sure it's straight. Of course, this thing's adjustable, so it's moving on me. But I'm gonna wanna mark a couple holes there, start off with a little drill, and then we'll zip that in, and pretty much this part's going to be complete other than tightening the center. All right, folks, I got that end screwed up in there as tight as it goes with the screws that came with it, self-tapping. Now I just got to push these back in all the way and tighten this down, and this is done. Unfortunately, it's not straight along the frame. Who cares? I mean, I'm just going based off of what was already in here, folks. I'm not doing this as a all-day project. But that's it. Simple way to expand your sewer pipe holder. Should have been this way from the factory. Honestly, I know they're trying to save a buck on a cheap camper, but come on, I still got to have a place to put my poop pipe. Thanks for watching. Should have some more stuff coming up now. Bye for now.